because they have it worked out where it's the newest game showcase first, so it's a really good way to run them down if you guys are interested in utilizing that site. Great website. It's just a little bit harder to follow on the PlayStation Store's website right now. You know, a lot of the typical stuff. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, $29.39 for that is very good. It's available on Plus Extra, but that's a fantastic game, and I would just say, you know, if you're not down with subscription services, go buy it. It's a fantastic title, and love the whole narrative to it, and I always talk about this when I talk about Ghost of Tsushima, but if you rag on Jin as a main character, I just feel like you didn't understand the story the game was trying to tell. The game is called Ghost of Tsushima. It's this narrative arc of Jin becoming the Ghost of Tsushima, and I thought they did a really good job with it. Maybe I'm insane as far as that's concerned, but I remember that being a pretty big talking point when this game initially came out back in the summer of 2020, but yeah, I thought that was completely misdirected, but nonetheless, $29.39, really good price. If you do want it on PS4, that's $19.79. You do pay the upcharge on PS5, which is a little bit of a bummer, but the PS5 version is quite good. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, $29.39 for that. Awesome game, just a little bit on the shorter side, which I could understand why you would be pushed away from spending $70 on it, but $29.39 is really good. I do imagine the game will at some point be added to PlayStation Plus Extra, but hey, I thought it was going to happen sometime in 2022. So that's a game they still have in their back pocket to ultimately add to Plus Extra. Returnal, $29.39 for that. That's available on Plus Extra. Kind of a hefty price point. It is a game that I enjoyed, but I was a big Housemarque fan, and I understand, like, I've talked to people that wanted to break their controller while playing Returnal. The updates and whatnot definitely do make it a more accessible experience, so bear that in mind as well. And you know, taking the Housemarque design and dropping it in a AAA game turned out pretty well. As far as the particle effects go, man, they really transitioned that well into a big budget title. Sackboy: A Big Adventure for $19.79 I think is quite good. That's a solid platformer, all things considered. Obviously, it's not like Little Big Planet. Sackboy is just like the mascot, but it's a good platformer, and I would check it out. Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, that of course includes Spider-Man Remaster, that is $39.89. Demon Souls, $29.39. What you're gonna see is they have a lot of like complete editions on sale. Like initially with the first wave of the deals, they had just the standard versions of certain games on sale. One example being Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2 Ultimate Edition is $30. Hey, I'd be down to pay $30 for a Red Dead 2 Ultimate Edition if it had a PS5 upgrade, but hey, do you guys want me to be a broken record with that? Yet again, Red Dead 2 is an awesome game. Arthur Morgan is one of the goated main characters, and I would definitely recommend you to play through the campaign if you haven't, but yeah, 30 FPS is kind of a deal breaker for me as far as playing that game on the PS5 at this stage of the game. Alan Wake Remastered, 50% off for $15. I love me Alan Wake. I know that, you know, from a gameplay standpoint, it's definitely not like the best game in the eyes of the 2023 audience, but it's fine enough, and I thought the atmosphere, the narrative, I thought those elements were really good. I wasn't as hot on the DLC content, but for 15 bucks, I think it's a pretty good price. Disco Elysium, the final cut, 50% off for $19.99. The bummer about this is Disco Elysium is regularly sold on PC for $9.99, so it's kind of lame that you do gotta pay double the price on PlayStation, but the PlayStation version has held up more so in price. I want to say that Disco Elysium saw a release on PlayStation 4 and 5 well after the PC release, so that might have something to do with it. Nonetheless, it's a very, very good game, very well written. A little bit of a slower paced methodical title, so you gotta know what you're getting yourself into, but definitely a high quality narrative driven title. We got Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection, 70% off for $12. I mean, the AC2 trilogy at this point is like iconic to several people. For a lot of people, Assassin's Creed 2 is their favorite game in the history of the franchise, and I love the Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy, don't get it twisted. It's just, you know, AC2 did come out back in 2009, but I feel like you could still go back to it and have a pretty good time with it. You know, it's just a fun open world game, and Ezio is one of the more engaging main characters that you're gonna come across in a video game. Very, very likable in that regard. Last Guardian, $9.99, pretty good there. Yakuza 0 for $4 is really good. Yakuza 6, The Song of Life for $4. Those are obviously really good deals, available through Extra as well. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Remastered, we got that for $9.99. Excellent JRPG deal right there. Ni no Kuni is a game that I think is pretty accessible to newcomers of JRPGs. Obviously, you've got that fantastic Studio Ghibli-style art style, and that's going to be right up the alleys of a lot of people. You got Scarlet Nexus, man, 75% off for $15. This might be the sleeper deal as far as all of the deals that I've seen thus far. I love Scarlet Nexus. I thought this was a fantastic game. I thought the soundtrack was great. I thought the cast of characters was solid. you know, as far as the two main characters, I think more people gravitated towards Kasane, but nonetheless, Yuito was fine as well, and a gameplay style is really good. The only real drawback to this game is much of the narrative is told through a visual novel style presentation. That I know is going to be off-putting to some people. I found it fine just because, you know, I played games like Danganronpa, Aya, the Somnium Files, etc., etc., so Scarlet Nexus was pretty accessible to me, and there are cutscenes for the bigger moments of the game, but, you know, it's not as abundant as what you're going to see in that visual novel style. Wolfenstein 2: The New Cost for $6 is ridiculously good. Strong recommendation there. Ace Combat 7: Skies Unknown for $9, obviously great action flight title. Strong recommendation there as well. Batman Return to Arkham, Arkham Asylum, and Arkham City for $5, obviously a really good deal there. At this point, I imagine most of you guys at least played these games on the PS3, but if you want to revisit them, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City are really good, and Arkham City is actually my favorite of the main Arkham titles. Honestly, it's my favorite of all the Arkham titles. Like, yeah, there's Arkham Origins, Blackgate, but I do think Arkham City is better than that. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, 70% off for $9. AC Syndicate is a game that I often talk up. I don't believe they've yet to fix this game on the PlayStation 5. I actually tried to replay it pretty recently, like a couple months ago, and it was a disaster. I heard about this game having problems, and I didn't really quite comprehend the level of problems that this game has on PlayStation 5. Literally unplayable from my experience. The little bit that I did play when I wanted to replay this game, literally unplayable. Like, yeah, like if you're trying to play this game on PS5, wait for Ubisoft to fix it, and I believe they said that they were gonna fix it, so hopefully that will happen soon. Death Stranding Director's Cut, 60% off for $19.99. Death Stranding is a game that I recommend everybody to play. It's definitely a game that's not for everybody, but it's such a unique game, and it's a game that definitely does get frustrating at times, but so quirky, so different, and they are going to do a follow-up, so, you know, check it out if you're interested. We have Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age, $25 for this. This is pretty pricey. FF12 is great, in my opinion. I know that back in 06, I remember the rhetoric around this game was like some people really liked it, other people not so much, just because it was very much a shift from Final Fantasy battle systems in years past. And honestly, Vaughn isn't the most engaging main character in FF history. Honestly, like Ash comes across more as the main character in this game. But FF12 is still a solid game, and there's a lot of content to the game as well. I liked the whole battle system and everything they were going for with that. I know that was the element a lot of people had pushback with, but $25 is super pricey, man. For a PS2 game, a very nice upgrade on a PS2 game, but that is definitely pricey. Odin Sphere Left Tracer, we got that for $15. Really good price for Odin Sphere. Always recommend just Vanillaware titles in general. 13 Sentinels has definitely taken my spot as my favorite Vanillaware title, but Odin Sphere can't remember that classic on PS2. Like, I remember Odin Sphere was actually a game that around that time, you were like seeing that game being promoted quite a lot when it initially came out. I believe it ended up being a greatest hits title on the PS2, and this is a nice upgrade of that game. It's just, you know, don't be spending $60 or $50 or whatever the MSRP is. I believe it's $60. $15, much better as far as that's concerned. Rayman Legends, $5. Sultan Sanctuary, $3.59. That's actually a low-key banger of a deal as well. Little Nightmares 2 for $9.89. That is a super, super good deal. A really good atmospheric survival horror platformer. $9.89 is a really good price for that, but play the first one. It was a PlayStation Plus Essential freebie not too long ago, so a lot of you guys probably have it in your library. We got UFC 4 1019. How about Dana White smacking his wife? That was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Like, 2023's already been absolutely nuts, but like then you just hop on Twitter and that's what you immediately see. Like, yeah, come on, man. But 1019 for UFC 4. I mean, if you're I feel like the UFC games are like mindless fun, so I enjoy them, but yeah, there you go. 1019 I think is a pretty decent price. What else we got? FF10 and 10.2 HD remastered, $12.49 on that. Really good price for FF10. FF10, and I said this before, but it definitely shows its age. Like, you guys gotta remember, FF10 came out back in 2001. It's kind of wild to think it's been like 22 years since this game has come out, but like, nonetheless, stiff animation, some of the voice acting isn't the greatest, but man, the overall story to the game is great. The battles theme is still something I listen to regularly. Like, I think this has one of the best battle themes. 10-2 is kind of memes, but 10 is a classic, and even 10-2 is not like that bad, but 10 is really what people are after. Catherine Full Body, $9.99. I always talk up Catherine. I think it's a pretty good time. It's super, super quirky, super zany. Definitely not for everyone, but a interesting narrative-driven puzzle title that obviously has like a big romance aspect to it as well. $9.99, pretty good price on that. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, $8. Another game I constantly talk up. Yuri is like one of my favorite JRPG main characters, and the whole cast is just really, really likable. The overall story I think is good. I wouldn't say it's like completely blow away, but it's fine. With Vesperia, you know, the battle system, I know some people you find it to be a little bit dated, and you gotta remember, this game came out back in like August of 2008, so it's been like a long time, and yeah, you can't expect everything to have the visual bump that Arise is giving you, you know, a 2021 game. But Vesperia is really good, $8 again. I think that's a really good price. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, $19.99 for that. DMC5 is awesome. It would have been nice if you, the owners of a PS4 version, could have gotten like a free upgrade or at least pay like $5 to $10 for the upgrade. But hey, what can you do? It's a great game, runs really well on the PS5. Already ran really well initially, and a fantastic soundtrack here as well. Like obviously, Devil Trigger, like you can't go wrong with music like that. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is $2. Honestly, for $2, that's like kind of an insane deal. Danganronpa 1 and 2 Reload for $8 is really good as well. That's a banger of a deal, and Danganronpa was a game that I played when it initially came out on the Vita, and I was listening to a podcast, and they just kept talking up Danganronpa, and I was like, alright, bro. I was at the store, and I was like, let's just buy it and see what it was. And then I swear I played that game for like an hour, absolutely hooked to it. I beat the game in like 2 days, like absolutely no life did. And then Danganronpa 2, in my opinion, is even better than Danganronpa 1. It's very much a story-driven game. It's a visual novel. Great soundtrack here as well, but a lot of twists and turns. And how everything like connects back together, like with the ending of Danganronpa 1, like the twists and all that, I won't get into it since it's very much story-driven, but they did a really good job with it, so definite recommendation there. Okami HD, $9.99, Bayonetta, $8.74, 7 Days to Die, $3, FF9, $10.49, a lot of talk about a potential remake for FF9. I think people would be really excited about that, but yeah, that is the original version, upgraded a little bit, but not a full-on remake, of course. Metro Exodus Gold Edition is $9.99, Risk of Rain 2, $6.24, a very replayable game, and an addicting game as well. That is a game that is ideal to play with a couple friends, but yeah, do check that out. Crysis Remastered Trilogy, $27.49. Nice to see that get a little bit cheaper as, you know, the weeks and months roll on since that game's initial release. But I loved Crysis 2. Crysis 1 was also really good. Crysis 3, not as big of a fan, but still pretty decent, all things considered. Dying Light: The Following Enhanced Edition, $8.99. Metro Exodus, $7.49 for the base game. Scott Pilgrim: The World. Naruto Trilogy, $9.99. Dot Hack GU Last Recode, $4.99. Insane deal there. That's awesome. Like, guys, I paid $40 a pop, or like $50 a pop, whatever the price was when it initially came out, on each of the Dot Hack GU games. Like, I believe Bandai Namco was publishing the games at the time, and they obviously published this collection, but man, yo, if you were a fan of Dot Hack, you got absolutely taken to the cleaners, because people were dropping like $40-50 on the original set of games, and then you drop $40-50 on the new set of the GU titles, and man, you were just absolutely... your wallet got destroyed by Dot Hack, but like, what can you do? Dot Hack is awesome, and guess what? You now get the entire trilogy of GU and a fourth smaller episode for $5. That's just like absolutely ridiculous, and I would definitely check that out. So I'm gonna wrap up the video here. We're already running kind of long, but you know, this is just a couple pages worth of deals. Wanted to talk a little bit more about the stuff that I did really notice, but yeah, going through this sale deeper and deeper, there's a lot of good stuff here, so definitely go check it out for yourself. Sorry that we are a little bit late on this video, but yeah, better late than never, and wanted to give you guys a nice insight into it. Remember, Wave 1 deals end tonight, so go check out our other videos. You know, if there's anything you want to pick up, just